Hey, my love. Okay, so look, in this video, I'm going to be showing you how I created my own Yoni steam seed out of this crate, right? You see this here? Yes, this beautiful thing was created out of a crate, okay? Let me tell you, it's not perfect, but it does the job. And this is like what my finished product was. Because here's the thing, most traditional Yoni steam crates, as you are looking at here, are very expensive for most people. It's actually what made out of wooden material. I love it, but some people just can't afford, $75 to $400 seat. So if you're looking for a DIY project, I highly recommend go and grab you a crate. Look, this is what I used. Some typical foam that you would pick up from like your local arts and crafts shop or Walmart, a cardboard box. I also had the fabric that I use for decorations. You'll need a hot glue gun and the hot glue sticks. Also some clear tape and a kitchen knife and scissors and just some basic like saran wrap or bubble wrap. And also a black Sharpie marker that I forgot to put here. So also I put a list at the end of what you'll need in case you forgot or you need to go back. Okay, so look, on to the fun part. What I did was make sure I had all my materials by my side, right? I made me a nice cup of tea, honey, that you see me sipping right here. Made sure that I had all my materials by my side. Before I get in this video, I just want you to know something. This is a DIY project and all the materials that I am using is just stuff from like my home. So be careful. And if you're underage, you're going to be using a hot glue gun. You're going to be using scissors and a knife. Just warning, be careful. Do not hurt yourself. This project is a typical 1 to 4 hour project. While I was doing this, I was listening to an audiobook and some music, and also I basically had my mom call me. So throughout the video, you probably see my lips moving, even though it's going to be sped up because she just called me. I like things like this because it allows me to connect with myself. And having a relationship with yourself is one of the best things that you can do. And for example, Yoni steaming, that's basically what it is. It's not only are you detoxing your womb and aligning your chakras and doing so much more things as well, but effectively you are just being in tune with who you are, that feminine goddess. So actually creating your own seat will be like the start of it all anyway. So yeah, right into the video of how you need to make this seat. Okay, so I'm in the heart of my living room floor. The first thing you're going to do is make sure you got a lot of space. I took the cardboard box. I cut the cardboard box just to break it down. And I had a black marker that I missed out on the list. So take your marker or your pen. And what I did was take the crate and put it on top of the cardboard box. And I traced each piece, right, that will go around the edges and at the top of the crate. So around the crate, I'm going to basically hot glue gun and tape the cardboard box with the fabric on top of it to round the sides of the crate. So most people are like, how did you get that to be purple? It is the actual cardboard box. So as you see me here, basically cutting it with my knife because my scissors was just weak AF. So I had to do it with the knife, honey. So did it with the knife. And then I just took the marker, as I said, and just took the crate and traced it. And then I cut out each piece, put them to the side before I put the fabric around each one of those pieces. So as you can see here, I got my little pieces, right? You see how I'm lining it up, for example, with that space at the top. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm going to draw the hole for where I want my cucharaca to go, my vagina. The space where I want my vagina to go, the hole where the steam is going to be coming up from. So as soon as I did that, what I did was took my scissors and just put a dent basically into the cardboard box where I'm going to be basically carving the hole out from the cardboard. And so after I did that, I'm just going to take each piece that basically goes around the edges of the crate because the part where the crate is open is facing me. And I'm going to take my fabric now and start to trace, my fabric with the pen or the marker, whatever you have, so I can cut out, the measurements of the fabric to make sure that it lines up with the cardboard box, as you see me doing here. So just doing that, just about to take my marker, say where I'm about to cut it out in the back, I actually left a little bit of fabric on the back end so I could have taped it down. I actually used a staple. As I was watching this video, I forgot that I used a stapler. I used a stapler, I used a staple gun like from my desktop computer that I actually use for work. It's so ghetto. Remember I told y'all this is a DIY project. So after I traced all of that, I took the scissors where I basically have my pin mark set where I traced. I held my foot down to make a line, honey, and I went and cut it. When I tell you I am a DIY girl, I'm a DIY girl. I'm going to get it done. I'm going to figure it out. So after I get all my little fabric pieces in place is when I'm going to take them and put them around the cardboard boxes, as you're going to see right here. So you see this little piece, honey? Came out perfect, right? So now I'm just going to go ahead and measure it. On top of that piece of the cardboard box, I'm just going to go ahead and staple it down. If you don't have a stapler, what you can do is use the hot glue gun or you can use some tape. I was like, I don't know what made me use this stapler. I thought about it like, let me just go ahead and staple it. But if you have a stapler, go ahead and use a stapler because it actually is easier. So you see how I just folded it inward, basically where you're not going to see the cardboard that's going to be facing the crate. Folded the fabric inward towards that space, and then I just staple it down. If you don't have a stapler, as I said, you can use a hot glue gun. You're just going to have to wait for the hot glue to actually melt a little bit and then dry to harden. So now you see I got all my little cardboard pieces that goes around the edges of the crate. So I just basically put them on the side like that. That's where they're going to go. So those are done. Put them to the side. And now we're going to move on to the top. So you didn't see me do this part where I cut the hole out the middle where your vagina goes, but you did see me trace it and poke the holes down in the cardboard box as to where I'm going to trace. So this time I'm going to do the other side. The reason why I cut it in half like this is because I'm going to take the fabric, that big block that you see sitting behind me, I'm going to take that cushion, that foam, and place it on top and cut that in half so I could basically wrap the fabric around the cushion foam part on top of the cardboard box when they're together. So that's why I had to do this like this, and it was hard to basically cut out a hole or a circle with the full cardboard box in like the square shape. So I just cut them in half and I just made sure everything lined up, as you can see. So now I take my foam and I'm going to do the same thing for the foam that I did for everything else. I'm going to line it up with the crate and I'm going to take that marker and I'm going to trace it so it can be in alignment with the crate. So as I'm sitting here, I'm like, let me go ahead and make sure I get my measurements right. I'm going to take that crate, line it up. I put it on the edge to make sure I see where I'm about to cut and then where I'm going to draw a line at, as you can see here. And I draw the line and I keep drawing the line, yada, yada, yada. And then after I do that, I take my good old faithful kitchen knife, as I told you, and I'm just going to use it to trace down that line that I drew with the marker and just get the excess foam off that I don't need. When I tell you I tried to do this with the scissors at first, it was not doing it for me. Plus, I had some janky, weak hair scissors. Like, if you guys got some hard-duty scissors, it probably will work for you. You just have to do what works for you. That's what a DIY project is. It's like do it yourself and do what works for you. It's not like we have professional tools and we're not professionals. Like we have, saws and stuff like that. If you got it, honey, use it. Whatever gets the job done. So now that I got that off, I'm just basically going to take this foam and I'm going to take those two pieces of the cardboard box that goes on the top of the crate. I'm going to measure them to make sure they line up perfectly. And then I'm going to take that marker, that hole in the middle, and I'm going to draw a circle with the marker on the foam as to basically this piece that I have to cut out because this is where the steam is going to come up from. I also made sure that I drew the lines at the top of where I cut the cardboard in half because I'm cutting the foam in half as well. So you want to make sure that you mark that. Now I'm just going to cut the excess foam off that I don't need. I'm going to cut it in half first before I actually cut out the circle parts, because it was just easier to basically cut the circle parts when it's in half like this, as you see me doing. So I'm just tracing it down with my knife. As I stated before, please be careful when you are doing this, honey. Please be careful. I'm a little rough-handed. I don't know why I was being so rough like that, but you see how I'm tracing it with the knife just to get a groove of it, because I tried to go in with my scissors, and then I'm like, you know what? This foam is quite thick, which is good because we don't want our butts hurting. I start sticking the knife downward inside, and then I like tore it out, basically. That's why it looks so like bulky like that in the middle. So now I got both of my pieces. Look at me being weird. Both of my pieces, everything is all good. It lines up with the cardboard. And I plugged my hot glue gun up, and I'm going to measure it to the crate, make sure it's all good. Make sure the foam go on top of there. This is basically how it's going to go. And then I'm just going to leave this part for last, basically, when I wrap the foam with the fabric. And we are off to our bubble wrap. So you want to take the bubble wrap, and you want to basically wrap the bubble wrap all around the crate, right? And this is where our tape comes in at, because we're going to wrap the bubble wrap around the crate, but how are we going to keep it in place? So I started to just put anywhere on my crate on the side, just hold it down as I was wrapping it around. I'm basically getting it around the entire crate. I should have did this twice, because it would have been better, because we want to block in all the steam. That's the whole point of it. So I just did it one time. If you want to do it twice, it's good. It just make it look all fluffier and better. Then I'm just going to go in with my scissors after it's all wrapped around the crate, and I'm going to tape that part down to the side as well. After it's taped to the side and I got all of that out the way and I got the bubble wrap down good, I'm going to go to the top of the crate and do the same thing. However, I'm just going to make sure that the parts that was sticking up is just taped down, right? But there's going to be some more bubble wrap that goes on top of this, but not fully in the way that it goes around the sides of the crate. And then I just flip my crate over, and I just make sure that at the bottom of the crate where, like, some of the bubble wrap was hanging off, I'm just like taping it down just because, just to make it look all good and extra clean and all of that good stuff. Just, I don't want stuff hanging off, basically. So now to the top of the crate where you'll actually be sitting. I'm going to do the same thing. However, it's going to be a bit different. So as I cut the bubble wrap, right, I'm going to cut it just to measure it, like the whole part. But this time I'm also going to cut the bubble wrap in half, like I did everything else. First, what I'm going to do, measure it up. That's why I didn't put the foam and the fabric with the cardboard box on top, because I just wanted to make sure that I didn't block the whole part. So I kind of cut it off a little bit already. You see how it's like I took some of the bubble wrap out, and I'm just like putting it down, just some little pieces on the side, because I just want to keep a space open in the middle just for the steam to come up. That's it. And now that that is done, I'm just going to go ahead and measure it. Put it on top, the cardboard box and the foam on top of the seat on the top, so I can just make sure that I have enough space for everything to get through the steam. Now, onto the hot glue gun. My hot glue gun started to warm up when I was doing that, and I'm just going to go ahead and put the hot glue with the cardboard together. I was thinking to myself, like, should I push it down or should I put it on the top? As you can see, I put the foam down first, and then I put the cardboard on top of the foam. So after I did all of that and I put the cardboard box to the foam, I then went in and I put the other side, did the same thing to the other side as well. And then I went ahead and wrapped each piece with the fabric. Now that each piece is wrapped, everything is done. All the fabric is on each part of the cardboard boxes. I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm about to start attaching each piece around the parts of the crate where they go, and then put the pieces on the top. So basically, I am practically done. This is the part when I got so excited, because I'm like, baby, we are here, honey. So as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead, take the hot glue gun, put it on the edges of where the fabric is, and sometimes I put it in the middle as well because I want my stuff to stick down. I pressed it down, a nice firm hold just to press down. I was talking to my boyfriend at this time. He was sitting there talking to me, and I'm like, boy, you see me doing my thing. So, as you can see, as it's wrapped around each side, this is how it's going to look. Now, I'm going to move to the top. My boyfriend was fascinated by my little design, honey, because he'd seen me sitting there for a few hours working on this. So he was like, what? So, yeah. Now, I'm taking the top pieces, and I'm about to do the same thing. Remember, now, some people was like getting this part confused. You're going to put the hot glue gun on the edges where the saran wrap is. And you're not going to put them where you're going to block the hole. Get what I'm saying? So basically what I just did in this video. After I did all of that, I just made sure I pressed it all down firmly to make sure it fit and everything was all good. And then after that, I just added me some nice little cute decorations. I bought this from Walmart. You can get it at Family Dollar, Dollar Tree. I just wanted my thing to look cute with some flowers that whenever I go and do my Yoni steam, I feel serene. I feel, I got that vibrant energy. And I just put stuff around some fake flowers and greenery and just made it look cute, honey. And here is the finished project. Okay, this is about a $20, $30 project, as I told you guys. I got all these materials from Walmart and I think Home Depot. I got the crate from Home Depot for about $8 to $10. And then I had a cardboard box from Walmart. I got the fabric from Walmart. I got the little decorations from like Dollar Tree or Walmart. And I already had a hot glue gun, I think, and the stapler. And you can just get like a cheap little Sharpie marker. And this is it. Like, connect with yourself, do your thing. Like, it's not supposed to be perfect. It's just for you. That's all it is. You can avoid spending $100 to $400 on a seat. I mean, it's nothing wrong with it because I'm definitely going to get me a wooden Yoni steam seat just because I want one. But starting off for someone who doesn't want to spend that money and that actually wants to have a project and do something themselves and connect with themselves, this is a perfect way to do it. And of course, we have Yoni steam herbs available. Our Yoni Power Yoni steam herbs come in 2 sizes. You can just click the link in the description box below to order yours today. And if you have any questions, just go ahead and email me at meccabookings@gmail.com. Thank you. Have a good one.